Excited, everyone. It's UFC Fight Night. Jandiroba versus Lemos. Prediction videos. The best card of the year. Just kidding. I'm probably going to walk into oncoming traffic by the end of this card. It's going to be so fucking bad. You thought Tayra Perez was bad? Just wait until this card. We're going to go through my predictions, just giving you everyone I think's going to win. We're going to start with the earliest prelim, go all the way up to the top in the shittiest main event you could possibly make. We have multiple women's co-main events that have been incredibly low-level, boring fights. Again, there are some very fun fighters in women's MMA. Amanda Lemos tends to be one of them, but when you match her against a wrestler that just wants to take down and sniff crotch, or sniff box because they're both women, I don't know if you've looked at them, it's just going to be a boring fight. This absolutely sucks. I can't believe we're doing this, but going to give you my prediction video. I don't care. I don't care how I do on predictions here. I really don't care. I'm just going to do them because I've been consistent with them. I can't believe the UFC is like, this is what we'll do for a card. We'll start it off with Mo Usman and Thomas Peterson. Mo Usman, not that good, but he does have power. He can sprawl pretty well. He's physically strong. Thomas Peterson's a very good wrestler, but not MMA wrestler. And I think he's going to struggle against Muhammad Usman. I think Muhammad Usman is a lot more athletic than Thomas Peterson, and I will always bet the more athletic heavyweights than I will the unathletic, fat, overweight ones. Thomas Peterson is fat. He doesn't have MMA quality wrestling, or at least we haven't seen it yet. Who knows? He's young. Maybe things have changed, but he has not looked impressive. He lost to Jamal Pogues, and I actually think Jamal Pogues is pretty good at staying on the outside and kind of jabbing away. But Thomas Peterson had the game plan of you got to shoot in takedowns, and he was just too dumb to do it and too bad to get them. So I'm going to go with Mo Usman being more athletic, landing good low kicks, and landing looping hooks. He's going to win this fight with a really boring decision. 30-27, Mo Usman, he's going to win this first fight. It's a strong bet on the card, too. Luana Carolina versus Lucy Pudilova. Another great fight, guys. I'm going Luana Carolina. I think she's better. I think Lucy Pudilova is really, really bad, and I think Luana Carolina is not only better, but she's fought tougher competition as well. People kind of troll her for losing to Molly McCann, but Molly McCann kind of just got lucky with a spinning elbow. And as we've seen, Molly McCann has started to improve. If you haven't seen, go check out the MMA Guru's video with Patty Pimblett. Patty Pimblett talks to him about roasting Molly McCann. It's a very, very fun conversation. Opens up a good side of Patty that I think people need to see. It showed me that he's pretty funny. He grew on me with just that interview. So it's good to see someone in the MMA YouTube community putting out good interviews and not acting like NPCs like Helwani and Brett Okamoto, those loser bots from ESPN. Great work from MMA Guru, and awesome interview out of Patty Pimblett. I'm going with Luana Carolina to win this fight by decision. I do think she has more finishing potential, but I think she's going to win this one by decision. Looking at her win, she knocked out Stoliarenko. She looked good in that fight with Stoliarenko too. Ivana Petrovic she beat. She lost to Joanne Wood by a split decision. Very close fight. Knocked out by Molly McCann in the third round. But again, much better competition than we have seen from Lucy Pudilova. We're going to go back down to that right now. Lucy Pudilova is terrible. She really is. Luana Carolina's got the reach too. Actually uses kicks pretty decently at times for this division. Yeah, she lost to Eileen Perez. Eileen Perez, we love Eileen Perez, big booty. Split decision to Jocelyn Edwards, who I also think stinks. Yeah, I think it's going to be Luana Carolina. I think she's going to win. Every time Lucy Pudilova fights someone with any semi-skill in the division, she loses, so I'm going to go with Luana Carolina to win a decision here. Loic Radzhabov versus Trey Ogden. Now, I was going to pick Trey Ogden, just thinking that he kind of had a good jab on the outside game, be able to shoot and get his takedowns. That's the same game that Al Sawadi played against Loic Radzhabov, and Loic Radzhabov beat him. I think Loic Rajabov has good finishing potential. They're both similar age. The reach for Trey Ogden's big time. He's got the same height, listed at the same height. But I do like Loic Rajabov's finishing potential. I like his takedown games. I think he's going to win this fight, and I think he's going to get a finish at some point. Round 2, maybe round 3. I'm going Loic Rajabov to win by finish. I think he can get a submission. He could get a knockout. I'm going to lean in the way of the knockout. I think I can see Trey Ogden shooting and making a mistake, and maybe a Darce getting latched up. Not a guillotine. I think Trey Ogden's good enough to get out of a guillotine, but maybe like a Japanese necktie, some kind of submission on a bad shot from Trey Ogden when he's getting peppered with the jab and beat up by Rajabov a little bit. Now, we have seen Rajabov lose, but that was to Madaus Rombeski, where he took it on short notice, and Rombeski beat the fucking shit out of his leg. Other than that, we've seen Rajabov fight Al Sawadi, who I think is a really talented, good prospect. He got a third-round finish. He also beat Esteban Ribovic by unanimous decision. Now, it was a close fight. I think it could have went Ribovic's way, but Ribovic is a super talented guy, and I think he's better than Trey Ogden as well. So we're seeing these fights for Rajabov play out. Also, Rajabov has fought in the PFL for a belt, so I like that as well, even though PFL sucks. See Ogden's recent win. I want to say it was like Nicholas Mota. Oh, he UD'd Kurt Hollabaugh. Kurt Hollabaugh is god-awful. No contest against Nicholas Mota, who he was beating, but he lost to Bahamondes. He beats El Huber somehow. But then he lost to Jordan Levitt. I'm going Rajabov. Rajabov's going to win inside the distance. I'm going submission, too. I think he's going to find a way to somehow out-grapple Trey Ogden. Yet another great fight, guys. We got 4 great fights on this card to start out, am I right? Miranda Maverick's going to win via unanimous decision. I think her grappling is much better than Diani Barbosa's, and I think she has the ability to do some damage on the feet here as well. She's getting better. She's more improved. 27 years old, constantly improving, fights at altitude. I think she has the better gas tank. I'm going with Miranda Maverick to win this fight by unanimous decision, 30-27, mixing it up, making it a true MMA fight. Quick one, right? That was a good quick one, guys. Brian Keller versus Cody Gibson. These guys suck. Both these guys are terrible. But I'm going to go with Brian Keller. I think Brian Keller is going to win this fight now. He's had a lot of time off. He's had some really bad injuries and neck surgeries throughout his career. I got a weird feeling that he's just going to look decent compared to Cody Gibson. I think he's going to be able to mix things up against Cody Gibson. I think Cody Gibson's a terrible fighter. Absolutely awful, terrible, low-level fighter that was on Tough and lost to Brad Katona and then lost to Miles Johns. Now, Brian Keller sure lost to Cody Garbrandt and lost to Saeed Nurmagomedov or lost to Umar Nurmagomedov. So he's fought those tougher level guys and he loses every time. But I think he's better than Cody Gibson. Now, he's on a 3-fight losing streak to Umar, Mario Batista, and Cody Garbrandt. All in the first round. That's a tough lineup. Wow, that's a tough lineup. I think going in there, training to fight the best of the best, and now going to fight Cody Gibson was a major step down. I'm going to go with Brian Kelleher to win the fight. I think Cody Gibson's that bad. And I think he's going to be able to win this grappling as well. So I'm going to go with Brian Kelleher to win this big underdog there. So far, it's the one underdog, but the first 3 fights are close to pick'ems. But I'm going Brian Kelleher with a pretty decent-sized underdog there. Speaking of underdogs, I'm also going to go Hyder Emil. I think Hyder Emil is better than Jung Young Lee. I think they both are just going to kind of crash forward here. Now, 34 years old. But the road to UFC guys are terrible. Reach. Jung Young Lee beat Blake Builder, I believe. My computer's so slow because his fight card's so bad. He beat Blake Builder by UD, and then he split decision on Road to UFC. That was the championship of Road to UFC, yeah. But then he got a bunch of first-round knockouts. He's got a BJJ game. I was thinking Hyder Emil earlier, too. Knocked out Fernie Garcia, though. Fernie Garcia is easy money. Okay. All right, changing my mind. I'm going Young Lee. I think he's younger. I know he's faster. I do think that Hyder Emil is a tough out, and I think he has the ability to crash forward and make this a dogfight. But I'm going to trust the younger guy with more reach and more speed to win this fight. I think Jung Young Lee has the ability to finish the fight if it goes to the ground as well, where Hyder Emil hasn't really showed that for me yet. I think he can offensively grapple, but I think when he gets put in submissions, there's a way in which he can lose here. I'm going to go with Jung Young Lee, and I think he's going to win this fight via TKO in round 3. I can also see Hyder Emil slowing down a lot. He's a very big, bulky, muscle-filled guy. I'm going to go with Jung Young Lee to win this fight by round 3 KO. Doo Ho Choi versus Bill Algeo. I'm going Doo Ho Choi. I think Bill Algeo is very good with his movement. I think he's hard to hit. I think he can score a lot of points. But Doo Ho Choi, when he loses his recent fights, it's by getting knocked out. So he took 4 years off after getting decision by Cub Swanson in a war, one of the best fights of the decade. Got knocked out by Jeremy Stephens and got knocked out by Charles Jourdain. Took 4 years off, came back, fought Kyle Nelson and drew him. Should have won, but he had a point taken from him. Kyle Nelson's pretty fucking good. And Kyle Nelson knocked out Bill Algeo. I think that Doo Ho Choi's chin's back. I don't think he's going to get chinned by Bill Algeo. He's younger than Bill Algeo still. I'm going to go with Doo Ho Choi. I think that Bill Algeo has a chance to outpoint and work on the outside a lot in this fight, but I think he also just got chinned by Kyle Nelson pretty bad. And I think Doo Ho Choi is going to get the knockout win here. I think he's going to knock out Bill Algeo in round 2 and secure a finish. It's another underdog pick here, so I'm going to go with the underdog Doo Ho Choi here. Bill Algeo is pretty good too, but it's tough. This is a tough fight. Tough one to predict. And I was picking Bill Algeo leading up all week, but I'm going to go Doo Ho Choi. Cody Durden versus Bruno Silva. Cody Durden. I think Cody Durden's a better fighter overall. I think Bruno Silva is a little overrated. He's dangerous, but he's kind of a little ball of muscle, and that's really all I see. I don't see the ability to actually finish fights on the ground for him in terms of submissions if I'm thinking of the right guy. As he submits Tyson Nam in his last fight. But Tyson Nam's not that good. Knocked out JP Bays. He lost to Ulanbekov and Dvorak, and I think Cody Durden is much better than Dvorak, honestly. I think that Ulanbekov is the one that, he lost to, he lost to Tagir Ulanbekov, but I think that one was a decision as well. I'm going to go with Cody Durden to win this fight. I think he's improved drastically. And yes, he recently lost to Tagir Ulanbekov, but that was a decision. Oh, no, he got subbed. I do remember him getting subbed. It was in December. But he beat Jay Cadley, beat Charles Johnson. I rate that. I'm going Cody Durden. I think he's a better fighter. I think he's a better, well-rounded fighter. I think he's going to win this fight by decision on the feet. Kurt Holobaugh versus Kainan Kruszewski. I'm never going to pronounce this one right. I've tried so many times. Kruszewski. I'm going with Kruszewski. He's younger. He's better. Kurt Holobaugh's terrible. He's 37 years of age. He was on tough. He's got reach. I'm going to go with Konecki to win a boring-ass decision. I'm going Konecki to win this one. It's as simple as that. Seung-Woo Choi versus Steve Garcia. I'm going Steve Garcia. I think he's very dangerous. All the homies love Steve Garcia. He's a strong, tough fighter. Gets violent, vicious knockouts. And I think he puts on a show here. I think he's going to win with a first-round knockout over Seung-Woo Choi. I don't think Seung-Woo Choi is that good. He got knocked down by Mike Trezano in the first round. That was a double knockdown. And I think if Trezano knocked him down, I think Steve Garcia is going to knock him out, and it's going to be in round 1. It's going to be with one of these punches where Steve Garcia throws a 2 straight down the middle. His head comes down, but he loops the left hook over, and he's going to catch Seung-Woo Choi with that left hook because that left hook is wide open on Seung-Woo Choi. I've watched some film on this. I'm telling you, it's going to be Steve Garcia left hook knockout over Seung-Woo Choi. First round. Brad Tavares versus Jung Young Park. Now, Jung Young Park has a great jab. He stays on the outside really, really well. He also mixes in his wrestling really well. And that's why I think that his jab is so good. I think people are expecting him to shoot, and he jabs on the outside. And people expect him to jab, and then he shoots, and he mixes it up well. I think he's going to fail a lot of takedowns on Brad Tavares here. I think Brad Tavares has a longer torso, and I think he's going to use his kicks really well. I think you're going to see him chew up Jung Ho Park's leg when Jung Hung Park's leg when Jung Hung Park is starting to throw a lot of those jabs. Jung Young Park is going to shoot takedowns. Brad Tavares is some of the best takedown defense in the sport, and I think he's going to stuff those takedowns. And he's going to win this fight via a round 3 TKO with Jung Young Park getting really tired. Brad Tavares holding onto a tie clinch, burying knees into his body, and then finishing it with a TKO. I'm going Brad Tavares here to win by a round 3 TKO. Leg kicks are going to be huge for him in the first few rounds. Then body shots with the knees and stuffing takedowns is going to go a long way, and he's going to win this fight against Jung Young Park. Brad Tavares is the pick here. Amanda Lemos versus Virna Jandiroba. I'm not going to do this long, guys. I'm going to go with Virna Jandiroba. This does not deserve to be a main event. This is a low-level shit fight between two women over 36 and 37 years old. No idea why the UFC would make this a main event. They obviously don't care. They don't want people to watch. You're not really competing with Paul versus Perry yet. They're not going to come on until much later, so I don't get what you're trying to do here. But I'm going to go with Virna Jandiroba. She's a good wrestler for the division, and she doesn't really have finishing potential, but she's going to wrestle and hold Amanda Lemos down for 5 rounds. If Amanda Lemos had better takedown defense, I would say that she would win this by TKO in the later rounds. But I don't think that Virna's going to have as much of a problem with the gas tank. I think she's just going to be able to hold down Lemos. Lemos is going to get tired. And Lemos has really bad takedown defense. So with having bad takedown defense, she's going to run into major issues. Virna's going to get a takedown around and hold her there the whole round. 50-45, 49-46, Virna Jandiroba. Yep, this doesn't deserve to be a main event, but it is. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, like and subscribe. This was my prediction videos, and we did it in just under 17 minutes, so it's good stuff. I'm not going to keep you too long for shit fight nights. We'll get back to UFC 304 next week.